Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, the Everyday Non-Expert here, and today I wanted to talk to you about all my comic spec picks for all the books that are coming out in February of 2023. So for my review of the books that I picked out, of all the books I saw, of the ones that I think could be the best spec picks for all of next month, stay tuned. And please do check out my links in the description below if you want to support this channel. I have my PayPal and my Venmo in there. And I'm going to put a card right here so you guys can check out my 1K subscriber giveaway. You can win a couple slabs. And with all that out of the way, and without further ado, let's get started. And first up, we have Silver Surfer Ghostlight #1, and this one is the first appearance of Ghostlight. And there's actually a character who was introduced but then died in the same issue, and that's Silver Surfer #5 from 1969, and the character's name is Al Harper. So that book's going to be coming out in February, and let's move on to the next one. Next is going to be Batman Legends of Gotham #1, and this one is the first cameo appearance of an unknown Atlantean. I don't know if the rumors and spec of Jason Momoa be quitting Aquaman and becoming Lobo are true or not, but because I don't understand why they would get rid of Aquaman. It is, I mean, for Aquaman to be as successful as it has been, it's all like you wouldn't have expected it to be that successful, and for them to just throw that away, that just doesn't make sense to me. But you know, they're tossing out everything pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised if they did throw the baby out with the bathwater in that one. So if they don't, though, this is a cameo appearance of an unknown Atlantean, and you never know, an Atlantean could show up in an Aquaman movie in the future. So, moving on, we have Star Wars Santa Staros #1, and this is mostly just because anything that is Star Wars is going to be spec-worthy, and this is featuring, this is the first solo series featuring Santa Staros. She was previously introduced, I did mention it in my previous FOC video, her first appearance, but this one is her first appearance of her, the first issue of her solo series. So kind of like, I know it's like a horrible example, probably not the right time to bring this up, but the only reason it's really on here is because of books like this, where Hulk 180 and Hulk 181 are pretty much getting out of people's reach for Wolverine, and so they've gravitated sort of towards the Wolverine #1 for his solo series. So, at least for me, I not only want to be aware of their first appearances, but I also want to be aware of the #1s of their first solo series, because you could probably get those, even if it only goes from $4 to $10. You spec on that hard enough, you can make a decent amount of money. Although I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. But again, it's just Star Wars, so that's why it makes my list. The next one is Bloodline Daughter of Blade #1. This is the origin of Briella's in here, and there's a debut of new powers, and also anything that has to do with Blade. Now it is spec worthy because you never know what angle they're gonna do, what stories they're gonna do, who else they're gonna bring in around Blade in the MCU. However, one thing you do want to be mindful of is the time frame. Blade was just in the post-credit scene of the Eternals, talking to Dane Whitman about I think it's the Necro Sword that he picks up, which don't even get me started down that rabbit hole because that leads to Null. But anyway, anything, but Blade is still ways away. Anyone around Blade, they might bring in Blade to be in a couple movies here and there, but I don't really see him getting his own movie for a while. They may have already put it out, like an estimation of when, but everything is getting pushed back, so honestly I wouldn't expect anything out in the next year or two that has to do with Blade. Next is Moon Knight, and there is a first possible, Moon Knight number 20, with a first possible appearance of a new assassin. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because of the Disney Plus show. Also, Moon Knight is probably going to appear in the MCU, especially with Oscar Isaac, definitely silver screen worthy actor. But with the Moon Knight TV series and season 2 already being ready, not ready to go, but approved, there could, you never know, anything from this Moon Knight run could be put into that series. Following that is Static number 1, Shadows of Dakota. And this one I was actually just going to put in here because Static picked up some spec heat recently with an announcement of a new show. Now, I know it's DC, so they pretty much canceled everything, so you never know. But there's also some first appearances in here. There's a character, Isaac, with new powers and as a first appearance. And then also Quincy, who is a friend of Static. It's their first appearance, and they're actually starting to manifest new powers. Now, it is a second cameo appearance of Ebon in Shadows. So that might be something that might be a book. That's a triple whammy book right there. And it's a number 1. So pretty good book. Honestly, I might get that just to have in my collection, even regardless of the spec value of it. So, because just, it's cool to own first appearances and stuff, even if those first appearances don't necessarily lead to the book's value going up, if you know what I mean. So it's a key, I guess I should say, you don't always have to own a key just because you think it's a spec pick. Sometimes just keys are just fun to have because of what makes them a key. In this instance, there's some new characters with powers and things like that, and it could be fun. Alright, enough rambling there. Next up, I actually do have a facsimile. I think I have one more facsimile later on. And it is a reprint of Avengers 8, the first appearance of Kang. And he's the Thanos of this next run of MCU movies. And I don't think that, especially a reprint that you can get for a handful of dollars, is going to lose its value at all going forward. Especially because he's, again, a big bad that's intertwined throughout all of the movies. It's not like just a movie here and there, one and done, or even 4 or 5 and done. But even if he was, I mean, I think that these movies are going to be timeless. So they're always going to be, this is always going to be an important character. And you're always going to want to have his first appearance. And it's pretty much impossible to have it right now. At the price it's at, so you can go ahead and grab that facsimile, and I know I'm doing that. And after that, we do have Storm and the Brotherhood Mutants number 1, and there's a first appearance of Ironfire. There's a possible first appearance of a character called Auntie Fortune. And then, for those of you who read House of X and Powers of 10, then you'll recognize the character Rasputin from there. And then this also does tie into the Sins of Sinister. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. Al Ewing is actually writing this, and he wrote Immortal Hulk, which a lot of people are going to probably agree, at least for me, it's going to be one of my top 5, probably most people's at least in their top 10 comic runs of all time. And I also really like the idea of Storm coming back in full force. And after that one, we have Red Goblin number 1, and this one has Normie Osborn bonding with a symbiote, and it's the first appearance of the new Goblin King, and we all know what happened, how well the Goblin Queen hit on the secondary market. So this new Goblin King, as well as Normie Osborn, you know, being a part of it, you never know what's going to end up being in the MCU. So there we go with some more Spider-Man villain spec. Okay, after this one is Spider-Man number 5, and if you saw my FOC video, Spider-Man number 6 is coming out. And in the description for Spider-Man number 6, it said we saw the like possibly the most important in the Spider-Verse or whatever in the previous issue. That's this issue. So it says possible introduction of Sting Knife, a sacred artifact that erases the existence of spiders. So I don't know if that's what they were talking about. I doubt it, but I think it's a different character. And this is a book that I'm speccing on based on what I saw in the solicitation of number 6. And next up, we do have Marvel Voices Wakanda Forever number 1. And this is actually the first appearance of the last Black Panther. And it's in a future story. So you're kind of going into the future and you're seeing what happens to the last Black Panther. And I think that's just an awesome thing. I think that's really fun that they're doing that. So there we go. Following that is probably the book I'm looking to most. And that is going to be this one right here, Nightcrawlers number 1. So it's the first team appearance of Night King. Wagnerine from probably Kurt Wagner, so it's going to be Wagnerine, and a mixture of Wolverine. And other Nightcrawler existing character hybrids. Possible introduction of the Great Devourer, and another, I'm pretty sure it's the Sins of Sinister tie-in. So, anyway, a lot of really fun characters in here. A lot of, I think the story is just going to be fun in and of itself. I mean, combining Nightcrawler's powers with a bunch of other different characters, I don't think you can go wrong there. I mean, you could go wrong from Spec. That's why I'm not saying from Spec, but from story-wise, it's just going to be awesome. And after that, we do have a Star Wars book, shocker, shocker, and it's the High Republic, the Nameless Terror number 1, and it just says that there's a ruthless predator who is unknown and nameless, so we don't know who it is, and that leaves room for Spec Value. Possible Spec Value. And then I think this is my last reprint on here, and it's the reprint of Amazing Spider-Man 129. This is the first appearance of the Punisher. So, I mean, with them updating his uniform and everything like that, I think now's as good a time as any to have the actual first appearance, especially with him on there, and just, just be able to hold that key in his classic costume in your hands and have it in your collection. And it looks like I was wrong. There was Wiz Comics number 2, reprint of Captain Marvel, aka Shazam. And it's his first appearance, and that second trailer was awesome, or the trailer for number 2. I don't know if you guys liked it or not. I thought it was amazing. I don't know what they're gonna do in the future. No, I don't even think James Gunn knows. Nobody knows what they're gonna do, but I do think that even alone, the 2 Shazam movies, and maybe Shazam and then watch Black Adam and then watch Shazam, those all could just be a nice little trilogy right there, all in themselves. Alright, next is a book that I'm really hoping is good. I think the comic community needs it now more than ever. Superman number 1. Can we get a good Superman run? Introduction of Supercorp, backup team given to Superman by Lex Luthor. Possible first appearance of a new parasite and debut of new powers. So, possible this, possible that. It's a backup team given to Superman. I don't know if it's going to end up being anything spec-wise, character-wise, but I really want this Superman to be a good book. I really want it to be good. So, there you go. Superman number 1. And finally, the last book that I am excited for, and it's not one of the better spec picks out of the month, but as always, you want to pick up the final issue, and it's 8 Billion Genies number 8. It's the series finale. You never know what they're going to do at the end, and it could just be fun, especially if 8 Billion Genies gets picked up. Then a lot of people are going to want number 1, and then they're going to want to complete the run and have a good number 8, And with this cover, you know it's going to be really hard for that cover to come in good shape, good condition. Condition, that's what I was looking for. And also, like with most books, it was hot, that are hot, like this one was, well, it was hot out the gate. A lot of people probably dropped off around issues 4 or 5, especially as they started getting the reprints, started getting into 5th printings. So that kind of could have pushed people away, and there might not be as many number 8s ordered as number 1s, and you're going to have all those people who are going to want to fill that run if 8 Billion Genies gets picked up, and you're going to have those 8s, and they're going to want to come to you, especially if they're in high grade. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, to give it a like, and let everybody know that it's worth watching. And subscribe to the channel to see more great comic book content like this. And comment down below, let me know what you thought about my picks. Do you know of any books that are coming out in February that maybe I didn't mention here? And if you did, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to have a conversation about that. And as always, I'm going to put a card right here for my 1K subscriber giveaway, and the other one is going to be for the FOC that is due Monday for all the books, and Sunday for, you know, everything from Lunar like usual. I did want to invite you one last time to check out my links in the description down below, and support me via PayPal or Venmo if you feel so inclined. That would be greatly appreciated. And until the next video, I will see you in the next one. Bye.